Hello students, welcome to Vidya Myriad. This video is made for class 9 on chapter number 14 statistics, and today we are going to begin with exercise 14.2 from Ncert. Now before we begin with the exercise, there are certain concepts which you need to know, that is what are telemarks, what are class intervals, how we are going to put the telemarks. Now here if you see what is telemarks, it's a way of presentation of numbers in a group of 5. Now what we are going to do is, we will understand with the help of an example. If you see, I have written an example which consists of number 2, 3, 4 and 5, and has a repetition of this. Now the question is, when you will frame a tabular thing, you will write 2, 3, 4, 5 in one column. In the next will be telemarks, and in the next will be the frequencies or how many times that number is appearing in that information. Now here what we are going to do is, your number will be represented by a vertical line, that is, or you can write it as capital I. Okay, that is a standing line. You will represent one number. Okay, if that number is repeating, you will add on that number of lines, but that repetition will be only 4 times. Now here if you look at the example, you have 2. This 2, if I count it, it appears 6 times. So what I will do is, after 4 bars or 4 standing lines, the fifth number or fifth 2, I will be representing it by a slanting line. I will draw a slanting line on the 4. That will represent 5. So it will be easier for me to count immediately. I don't have to count one by one how much it is. So I will start making the groups of 5, and then immediately I can find out the number of frequencies or number of times that number is repeating. Now once the 5 is over and there is one more 6th 2, there are 2 is coming 6 times. So after 5 again I will put one standing line that will represent 6. Now the first part, immediately I don't have to count how many lines I have put. I will just look into, there are 4 standing lines and one slanting line, which means it is a group of 5. So 5 plus 1 is 6. Immediately I can write 6. Similarly, if I look at 3, how many 3s are there? There are 7 3s. I am just explaining it by telling you there are 7 3s. But what you will do is, by looking at the number of 3s, you will start putting the lines. After 4, when your 3 is coming the 5th time, then you will draw a slanting line on it and it will become 5. And then again there are 2 more 3s, so you will put a 2 standing lines for this. Next 4 is coming only 4 times, so there will be only 4 standing lines, and 5 is coming only 3 times, so there will be only 3 standing lines. So ultimately, if the number or any your variable is repeating more than 5 times, in that case we will draw a slanting lines to represent the group of 5 and to count it easily. Second most important thing which you need to know is class intervals. Now what is class interval? Now if you look at the table, I have written 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20. This is a continuous class interval. It has a lower limit and it has a upper limit. Now in all, the difference between the lower limit and upper limit becomes your class interval. If you see, there is a gap of 5 in every. So we will take it as continuous class interval. Another important thing which you need to know over here is, the upper limit of the first class interval will become the lower limit of the next class. If you see in the table, 0 to 5, 5 is the upper limit. If you go to the next row, 5 has become the lower limit. Then 10 is your upper limit. In the next row, 10 becomes the lower limit. So you will not include the numbers of the upper limit in that data. For example, if you have 0 to 5 and 5 to 10, I will not include 5 where 5 is in the upper limit. Okay, that means I will just include the numbers till 4 or before 5. So that number will be there, and then 5 will be included where 5 is in the lower limit. So if I look at the limit 5 to 10, so what all numbers I can include in this information? 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. 10 will not be included. 10 will go in the next row, that is in the where 10 is becoming the lower limit. So like this we will form the class intervals. And another important thing is that now suppose your class interval is not continuous. So there is a way of making it continuous. That means when we will do the questions, you will understand it in a better way. What we will do is, we usually do minus 0.5 in the lower limit and plus 0.5 in the upper limit to make it continuous. So when we will doing the question, you will understand it in a better way. Let's begin with question number 1. The blood groups of 30 students of class 8 are recorded as follows. So your blood groups are written in a form of A, B, O and AB. It is representing by 4. So you will write in the first column A, B, O and AB. Next will be your tally marks. I have just taught you. So number of times it is repeating, you will put that number of lines, and more than 5 it is, you will put a slanting line. So now according to this table we need to answer which is the most common and which is the rarest blood group among these students. Most common means the number which is more, which is the bigger number, 12. So 12 is the one number of students whose blood group is O. So the most common blood group is O. Rarest means the least one. So the rarest is your AB, which is only 3. So it is very easy. This exercise is extremely easy. Just you need to focus on how to make the tally marks and what are the number of students or number of frequencies referring to it. Based on that, we can very easily find out which is the question. Question number 2. Now here the distance is given in kilometers of 40 engineers from their residence to their place of work were found as follows. Construct group frequency distribution table with class size of 5 for the data given above and taking the first interval as 0 to 5. 5 is not included. What is 5 here? 5 becomes your upper limit. So my next will be 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20. Like that it will go on. Till where I have to do, that will depend upon the maximum number representing in my data. The maximum number or the highest number in the information given is 32. So I have to make my table till 30 to 35. Based on this, I will put the tally marks and I will write the number of engineers representing that particular information. Now the question is, what main features do you observe from this tabular representation? So let us this, according to this, what we can see is, if you see 11 and 11 is coming 2 times, 1 and 1 is also coming 2 times. So we can say the frequencies of class intervals 5 to 10 and 10 to 15, they are equal, that is 11 each, and it shows that maximum number of the engineers are having residence at 5 to 15 kilometers from their workplace. Next information you can get, you have least number, that is only 1. So one of each engineer, they are staying or living between 20 to 30 kilometers of their workplace. Or we can also say that the total number of engineers are 40. So around 36 of the engineers, they are living below 20 kilometers of their distance. So this is the information we can gain from the above table. Question number 3. The relative humidity in percentage of a certain city for a month of 30 days was as follows. Construct group frequency distribution table with classes 84 to 86, 86 to 88, etc. Which month or season do you think this data is about? What is the range of this data? Now for calculating or making the class intervals, they have told us to start with 84. But till where we have to go? Your maximum or the highest value of observation given to us is 99.2. That means my last class interval will be 98 to 100. So from 84 to 86 till 98 to 100, I will make my table with the tally marks and the frequency. Now here if you see, the relative humidity is usually high during the rainy season. So we can say that data appears to be taken for the rainy season. Now they are asking about what is a range. Range is the difference between the highest observation and the lowest observation. Your highest observation given in your table is, if you look at the table, your highest observation from this table we will take it as 99.2 and the lowest value of observation is given as 84.9. So difference between the two is your range, that is 14.3. Question number 4. The height of 50 students measured to the nearest centimeters have been found to be as follows. Represent the data given above by a grouped frequency distribution table taking the class interval as 160 to 165. So 5, it's a gap of 5. What can you conclude about the heights from the table? Now let us first see what is the maximum highest value or the maximum value of observation here is 173. That means I should make this table till 175, that is 170 to 175. Now based on this I have created the telemarks and number of students, there are 50, and from the above table we can conclude that more than 50% of the students are shorter than 165 centimeters. So that is 12 plus 9 plus 14, that is about 12, 9 and 14 becomes 35. So 35 of the students, they are shorter than 165 centimeters. More than 50% it is. Question number 5. A study was conducted to find out the concentration of sulfur dioxide in the air in parts per million of a certain city. The data obtained for 30 days is as follows. Make a group frequency distribution with the class interval as 0.00 to 0.04 and it goes on. So we should know about its highest frequency distribution, and according to that, from the highest value we need to make table till 24, that is 0.20 to 0.24. So this is our class interval. That means from the information from the table in the question we need to understand which one is my lowest class interval it will be and which one will be my last class interval. How we will come to know? Based upon the lowest number and the highest number. Sometimes in the question it is not told to you how you have to make the class interval. Like in now above questions we have seen that they are already telling us how we have to start with the class interval. Sometimes it is not told. So if it is not told, you should know which is your lowest number, and based on that we can make the equal distribution of the class intervals. Now this we have made the concentration class intervals. Based on that telemarks are there, and telemarks after that we write it number of days. So the concentration of sulfur dioxide was more than 0.11 ppm for 8 days. 8 days means we will start calculated from where? 0.12 to 0.16. 0.12 is your ppm. From here till the last, that is 2 plus 4 plus 2, that is for 8 days the concentration of sulfur dioxide was more than 0.11 ppm. Question number 6. 3 coins were tossed 30 times simultaneously. Each time the number of heads appearing was noted down as follows. Prepare a frequency distribution for the table given above. Now here we have the numbers 0, 1, 2, 3. So these 3 numbers are there. Number of heads occurring 0 times, 1 time, 2 times and 3 times. Based on this we have created telemarks and we have made the frequency out of that. So this is the frequency distribution table. Question number 7. The value of pi up to 50 decimal places is given below. So this is given. You have to make a frequency distribution of the digits from 0 to 9. That means how many times 0 to 9 the digits are repeating. So based on that we will use the telemarks, and based on the frequency we have found out that the most frequently occurring digits are 3 and 9 and the least frequency occurring digit is 0. So least means the minimum number frequency is 2. So 2 is appearing for 0 digit, and the maximum is 3 and 9. For 3 and 9 it is repeating 8 times. 3 is also coming 8 times, 9 is also coming 8 times. So that is the most frequently occurring digit. Question number 8. 30 children were asked about the number of hours they watched TV programs in the previous week. The results were found as follows. Make a group frequency distribution taking the class width of 5 and one of the class interval as 5 to 10. They are saying one of the class interval. Okay. So now we need to find out which is my lowest value and which is the highest value. The lowest value of observation is 1. 1 means I have to start with 0 to 5, 5 to 10 and like that 10 to 15, 15 to 20. They are asking how many children watch television for 15 or more hours a week. Now based on the class interval or based on the number of hours, we have prepared the telemarks and number of children. So 0 to 5 there were 10 children, 5 to 10 there were 13 children, 10 to 15 5 children and 15 to 20 there were 2. Now the question here they are asking is how many children or number of children who watch television for 15 or more hours. 15 or more means I need to see my class interval of 15 to 20. In 15 to 20 only two children are there who watch television. So answer is 2. Question number 9. A company manufactures car batteries of a particular type. The lives in years of 40 such batteries were recorded as follow. Construct the group frequency taking the class interval of size 0.5 starting from the 2 to 2.5. Now if here they have already told we have to start with 2, but where to end depends upon the highest value of observation which is 4.6. So 4.6 will lie between 4.5 to 5. Based on this we can prepare the telemarks and the number of batteries accordingly. This finishes exercise 14.2. This was one of the easiest exercise. I hope you must have find it easy also. Just see the numbers, how many times they are repeating, make their telemarks and find their frequencies. Based on their frequencies, you can very well answer the questions whatever is asked for. Now very soon I am going to come with exercise 14.3 children. Till then, see you children. Take care. Goodbye and do lots of